All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kind of an impromptu start, but CHBR is taking the field about 5 minutes early, kind of throwing us for a loop, but it is not a better time for the Tri-County Summer League semifinals between the defending champion Roughriders and the CHBR third base club, this year's regular season champion. And apparently they were out so early that they didn't even finish doing ground rules because the base umpire went out into the field, and now the two managers, Jake Swerdloff and Bones Marciano, have now split off. So we are going to get started with the quickest introduction you have ever seen as we'll jet back over to the main board. Frankie Ebling, the right-hander, formerly of Cherry Hill East, for CHBR, delivers the first pitch of the semifinals, which is a foul ball, and we are underway. How about that? Don't think I ever would have thought that we would have had a start so abrupt, but alas, here we are, and we were ready to go nonetheless. But Roughriders, of course, 13-8 this year, last year's reigning champions, and looking to hang on to that title with a brand new manager in Jake Swerdloff, who is hitting in the 5 spot tonight, as there's a swing and a miss at 1-2. And CHBR, who got knocked out in the semifinals last year, advancing to the main course this year, would be a nice addition for them, especially after an impressive 18-4 regular season campaign. I mean, the Sesdewicki brothers are absolutely maniacal at the plate this season. They've got a good pitching core, and not to mention the fact that, you know, they've been here before, but they just haven't been able to pull it off, and we'll see how they can do in this 3-game set. I will be out of the office on Tuesday, taking a day trip, and Wednesday we'll be back in action for Game 2 of the South Jersey Grizzlies and the Cherry Hill Pittman Club over here at Alcyon Park. So all semifinal games from here on out, as that's a swing and a miss for out number 1, all semifinal games and Carter Cup games from here on out will be at Alcyon Park. So that will make my scheduling very easy for next week. But Eric Sabato of Monmouth grabs a bat as let's take a look at that Roughriders starting 9, brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. For Swerdloff's Roughriders, you just saw Shane Daly go down swinging. Eric Sabato in left field bats second. Shea McKenna at third base, as here's a fly ball into deep right field, and it is caught by Nick Turnage, out number 2. Good play there by Turnage, especially in the hitter-friendly park. You didn't know where the wind was going to carry that ball. Wind is very slightly blowing out tonight, but here is Shea McKenna of West Deptford, now of McDaniel College in Maryland. There's your 4 through 9. Ian Murphy at first base, Jake Swerdloff at the DH, Jake Grice of Haddon Heights, now of Wagner College in Staten Island, is at short. Cole McKenna in right, Evan Carbone behind the plate, and Shane Perkins at second base. He bats 9th with Haddon Heights left-hander John DiCostanzo as the starting pitcher. 0-1-2 McKenna, the 3-hitter here for the Roughriders, is Frankie Ebling, looking to start off his first successful innings of the semifinals, as that one is going to be off the bag, and McKenna will reach. Definitely a good way to break up what was otherwise a solid inning. You know, you had a dominant strikeout, and then you had an early fly out to right, and getting on even via an error, it doesn't help your batting average any, but it does help the team's morale, and you can at least use this momentum here from Ian Murphy of Barton College in North Carolina. He's going to try to make an impact here from the 4 spot. One over to Murphy. Steps back at first. Frankie Ebling of Gwynedd Mercy University in Eastern Pennsylvania. A very nice season for him. 1.65 ERA, 34 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, a 1.15 ERA, 2 complete games, 1 shutout, and a very nice 197 batting average against. Very quick 3-0 count to Murphy with the manager Jake Swerdloff on deck for the visiting Roughriders club. There's a strike call to Murphy. First 3 for CHBR in the bottom half of the first will be Sean Sesdewicki at third base, Nick Cizelka in center field, and Justin Sesdewicki at short. Gets behind one and skies it out towards straightaway right field. Turnage of Haddonfield is there to retire the side. A scuffless first inning for Frankie Ebling as the Roughriders leave 1 runner on. They'll grab the bats and see what they can get going in the bottom of the first. Here from Alcyon Park, no score here in Game 1 of the Tri-County Semifinals.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Di Costanzo on the hill here for Roughriders here in the bottom of the first inning. He gets to start, and the current TCNJ Lion with a very impressive 0.67 ERA as a fly ball's hit out towards straightaway left field. Sabato is there, and Sean Sesdewicki is retired for out number 1. This brings up Nick Cizelka. Well, I guess there's your introduction to CHBR, but 31 1/3 innings for Di Costanzo, 12 walks, 31 strikeouts, 190 batting average against, and a 1.09 whip. As the lefty Cizelka grabs the bat, let's take a look at that CHBR third base starting lineup brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. For the home 9 tonight, you've got Sesdewicki at third, Nick Cizelka in center. League Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Sesdewicki at the shortstop position. Damon Sirianni at the DH batting 4th. Julian Costa in left batting 5th. Nick Turnage in right batting 6th. You've got Josh Genove at the EH batting 7th. Zach Chabria of Lenape at the first base spot batting 8th. John Rorick of Kingsway at the 9 spot at second base. And Bobby Woodward, the power hitting catcher, he bats 10th, rounding out the order. I mean, this is really one of the best star-studded matchups of this Tri-County season. You know, Cherry Hill Pittman and CHBR at this current moment might be the 2 favorites, but the 3 games that we see tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday are really going to be the benefactor to see how these two are going to fare up against each other. This would have been a great final series as well, if I'm saying so myself. CHBR had a great chance of being in the big show last year, couldn't get it done, and the Gartons last year being the dominant regular season team with only one loss in the regular season, going 18-1 and then not even making it to the semifinals was an incredible upset. But that's what we said this year with the South Jersey Grizzlies and Washington Township. I really thought Washington Township was going to make a big run. They looked really good on paper, but just they couldn't pull it together and got swept in the quarters by the SJ Grizzlies. And, big congratulations to them, as this one is absolutely crushed but foul down the left field line. And CHBR gave that one a hoot. They approve. But, yeah, Justin Sesdewicki, no doubt about it, has some of the most impressive stats you are going to see in a long, long time as the product out of Elon University, batting .400 with 30 hits in 75 at-bats. And they've got Cizelka in a pickoff rundown, and he got him. There's 2 outs. But Sean Sesdewicki, who flew out to left in his first at-bat, has him beat with a .556 batting average, 40 for 72, 1 homer, 13 doubles, 19 RBIs, and a 1.399 OPS. And to put that into perspective, as that one is taken away by Justin Sesdewicki. But yeah, Sean Sesdewicki, absolute monster. If you were to put the best Barry Bonds hitting season of all time, that being 2004, when he hit for a 1.422, he barely falls to that. And his 1.399 OPS would be the second best Barry Bonds season of all time. And a side note, it's funny that the 73 home run season in 2001 was the third highest OPS by Barry Bonds in his illustrious career. The first came in 2004, and the second came in 2002 with a 1.381. His third best, which was the record-breaking season in 2001, comes in with a bronze medal at 1.379. They're going to throw behind the runner. I don't even think Murphy saw that one coming. He was definitely thrown off by it, but they'll hold par with the course, and there's 2 outs. And a 1-2 count to Justin Sesdewicki. Fouls that one back. But the fact that there's 2 brothers, the 2 Sesdewicki brothers on this team, one with a .556 average and the other with a .400 average. You divide them both, or you combine them both, excuse me, and it's just flabbergasting how good these guys are. Well, Sesdewicki taps out to DiCostanzo, and we've got a scoreless first here in the semifinal. CHBR gets caught up in some base running troubles, but after 1, we've got a 0-0 score.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp.
Here in the top of the second inning, it's no score between the Roughriders and CHBR here in Game 1 of the Tri-County Baseball League Semifinals. Decent crowd on hand here on a very fair Monday evening, July 29th. Getting almost done with the Summer League season. Really surprised to see how quickly it's flown by. You know, we have been working with the Tri-County League for our first full season with the crew. Obviously spent about a month working games last year, starting in July and closing with the Carter Cup, and it's been great to see all the different coverage that we've got this year, you know, starting from opening day down in Vineland back on May 28th after Memorial Day, going all the way through the months of June, and now almost done with July for basically 2.5 months of Tri-County coverage. And it's been a great way for us to fill up the summer. You know, we haven't had too many events other than what we've been given, basically. So I'm very grateful for what we have, and the fact that we have been able to keep such a great relationship with the Tri-County League. We are always grateful for the opportunities we have here on DWB to give these players, whether they're high school, college, or, you know, just out of playing baseball and just want to play for fun, you know, giving them their spotlight. Here's a fly ball that's going to get a deep spotlight in the right field, and it's going to be off the base of the wall. Turnage has it, fires it to second base. It's going to one hop, and the manager, Jake Swerdloff, helps his team's cause with a double. So Jake Swerdloff, the DH for the Roughriders, gets the party started with their first hit, a double into the right center field gap. Fouled way back. As Jake Grice, the former shortstop for the Haddon Heights Garnets, is at the dish. He recently committed to Wagner College in Staten Island, New York, to play Division I baseball for the Wagner Seahawks. A good representation of Haddon Heights guys in this lineup, and Colonial Conference guys in general. Jake Grice, John D. Costanzo, a class of 2022 grad from Haddon Heights. Not to mention the two West Deptford products, Shea McKenna, and that's going to be a hit by pitch, Shea and Cole McKenna. So 2 runners on here. Carbone, a 2022 grad out of Haddon Heights High School. He's in the on-deck circle. And Shane Daly, also a Haddon Heights product. Class of 2021 senior, batted .335 in his high school career, going 62 for 185. With his lone high school home run being all the way back on May 25th, 2021, his third to final high school appearance versus West Deptford. Time called for a quick meeting between Ebling and his catcher. Ebling, this is on paper almost guaranteed to be a pitcher's duel tonight, but when it comes to the aura and the atmosphere of the playoffs, there's really no guaranteeing, and there's no really telling what's going to happen. And with a guy like Ebling, who, you know, has faced a lot of full pressure situations this year, and not only for CHBR but also over at Gwinnett Mercy, you know, he's one of those guys that has a lot of grace under pressure. And that's what you need to have a successful postseason pitcher. You know, if CHBR makes it to the finals, you can bet that Frankie Ebling is going to make a good start. If Roughriders make it, John D. Costanzo definitely getting the ball for one of those games as well. So, you know, it's not very surprising that that will be, you know, a part of what they do. This one's popped up down the first base line. Look out. There's a Pittman cop car making the rounds, and it almost hit the fella's windshield. I mean, in a town as nice as Pittman, what else do they have to do, you know? Not a lot of arrests they have to make. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the top of the second as Cole McKenna gets a free pass to bring up the lefty Highland product and rising junior at Rutgers Camden, Evan Carbone. Carbone got first team all NJAC this past season. He was one of the 2 Rutgers Camden catchers who both got all conference honors. Him, along with teammate Julian Gonzalez, picked up the NJAC honors. Evan Carbone on all NJAC first team, and Julian Gonzalez getting a honorable mention as a strike is called to Carbone. Two one. A double, a hit by pitch, and a walk have set the Roughriders in a really good position here on the top of the second inning, looking to get first blood here in game 1 of the semifinals. That one is going to be outside, and it's 3-1. I mean, bases loaded walks, they are the biggest gut punch of all as a pitcher because, you know, you've kind of had this happen yourself. First base coach says he didn't swing, but the home plate umpire disagrees, and it's 3-2. I mean, it was kind of your own making, you know? Like, he doubled, and then he got hit by a pitch, and then he walked. It's not like you came into the game and then walked the first batter you faced. You know, Ebling kind of saw this kind of situation build up. And that's what makes bases loaded walks so hurtful for a starting pitcher, is that, I mean, it sounds obvious, and it is, but you kind of dig your own grave with that one when you have a bases loaded walk happen on your watch, especially with no outs. And you'll see one right there. Roughriders get a free pass and they get a free run. Evan Carbone gets a nice walk, scoring his manager Jake Swerdloff, and it is 1-0 Roughriders. And you know, as these guys are in a pursuit for their second championship in a row and their third since 2021. They won in 2021 and 2023. You know, this is a perennial contender. So even though the Roughriders won 5 less games in a regular season, they're certainly nothing to scoff at. They have a new manager, but their ball club is relatively unchanged. And in something like a summer league, it doesn't really matter how much the roster turns over. You could have the same roster year over year, or you could have completely different rosters for, you know, 10 years straight. So it's not something that I would give too much weight to, especially just like with junior colleges. You know, I'm going to RCGC next year, or currently RCSJ Gloucester. You know, a big thing there is that in community colleges and at 2-year universities, that is always the challenge of a coach, is that they always are dealing with an overturning roster, because you deal with basically half, if not more, of the team turning over every single season. At a 4-year school, that's at least a little bit delayed. It's a little bit spread out. So a good freshman, you know they're going to be around unless they transfer for 4 years. And that's just basic math. You know, summer league teams and junior college teams kind of have the same, but not exact, similar but not exact makeup, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find the right word there, but here's the pitch to Roughriders, who grounds that one into Rorick and into a double play. 6-4-3, but it does get a run across, and it is 2-0 Roughriders. Thought that one was from Shane Perkins, gonna skip into the gap in center field, but stopped over at shortstop by Sesdewicki, and Rorick is a very good double play turner, very efficient double play turner, and you know that's why CHBR is so great at turning them. And yes, they got a run out of it, but it's one of those deals where you kind of have to play devil's advocate. You know, you trade off 2 outs for 1 run. something that, with as powerful as a team as CHBR is, certainly something that can be made up. But there's going to be run number 3, a base hit in the left field off the bat of Shane Daly, and they extend their lead to 3-0. This has been a good hitting inning for the Roughriders. They have already entered their second rotation of the order, and after not getting much momentum in the first, they now have put three runs up on the board, and that's not easy against somebody like Ebling, who, look, combined between these two pitchers, they have an ERA of about 1. So it's not surprising that the expectations were high for this to be a pitching priority game. But, if they're rattling Ebling this early, it definitely isn't a good feeling for anybody on the CHBR team this early. This one is a mile high. Rorick going back, and he makes the catch. Side retired. We are through 1.5, and the Roughriders are red hot. They put up 3 runs and bring up 7 men to the plate as we go to the bottom of the second with a 3-0 Roughs lead.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the second inning, this broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 95% of students pass their New Jersey State driving test with Harper Driving School on the first try. If you like those odds, book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road. First pitch is a strike to Damon Suriani, formerly of Gloucester Catholic, now getting the ball over at Barton College. That's a foul ball. Hits off of the foot of Suriani. 4, 5, and 6 for CHBR. Suriani, Costa, and Turnage. But as we said before, a beautiful, beautiful night here in Pittman with very, well, it was sunny skies. It was hot earlier in the day, but definitely has waned a little now. And this one is tapped out towards second base, picked up. Light throw to first is in time for out number 1. This brings up Costa. Definitely, with it being the last couple of days of July, having a game in the high 70s, lower 80s feels 10 times better. And a situation like this, where we're in the hills of Alcyon Park with a beautiful sight line of the ballpark below, always makes for a pleasant experience. And this is where we'll be Wednesday and next week as well. So as we close off our 2024 summer campaign and look to shift into the focus of the fall. That one goes behind the catcher, Carbone, and they'll reset here with a 2-1 count and 1 away to Julian Costa. No runs, 1 hit for CHBR. They got a base hit from Nick Cizelka, but he was picked off later in the inning. In fact, in the next at-bat he was. As the Westchester Golden Ram takes a strike. 1 and 2. Excuse me, 3 and 2. Hot shot on the ground to short. Grice has it. Throw across again is in time for out number 2. That one is hit well by Genove into center field. And the side is retired. CHBR goes down 1-2-3, and we go to the top of the third, 3-0 Roughriders. First pitch is a bunt and a called strike, and it's 0-1. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey. Visit 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. That one is hit out towards deep center field. And Cizelka is there for out number 1. The CHBR may be getting back into their groove a little bit. Ebling is still working out there, and obviously with this being a 3-game series, it's not like your typical summer league set where you're just playing one team and then you have 2-3 days off and then you play somebody else. You know, that's... You know, managing pitchers for 3 days in a row is different than having to, having to show up every couple of days and have your pitchers reset. Hence why, Chris Rollins has appeared in 9 games this year, and he struck out 104 batters. Oh, bat goes flying. It hits the pitcher's mound. I don't think it broke, but the pitcher's got a bat in his hand and he throws it back to the plate. Yeah, there's Zach Welsher coming out, and yeah, he will grab a new stick of lumber. Did it break?
It didn't sound good at all.
No, yeah, look at that. That thing sawed itself, yeah. That thing's a deadly weapon. And the count's 0-2. To Ian Murphy, formerly of Lackawanna College. There's a strike, but the ball gets away from the catcher. He's got to throw it down. He's hustling, and he is out at first. That's a good job by Murphy there to kind of stray a little bit out of the baseline to try to distract the throw so that the catcher couldn't see the first baseman. It wasn't so far out to where he was out of the baseline, but, those rules can be vaguely applied, and if you have the right umpire on the right day, it could work. Rorick, Woodward, and Sean Sesdewicki. 9-1-2. The first three for CHBR in the bottom of the third. One ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Ebling trying to get through a scoreless third. And there is strike 3. He got him. First strikeout of the night. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. Still 3-0 Roughriders. DeCostanzo in the bottom of the third inning, getting it still rolling against CHBR as they will bat their 8-9 or 9-1-2 guys. I'm sorry, 8-9-1 guys. Chabria will lead us off, so it's actually 8-9-10. I apologize. Takes a strike there, and it's very quickly 0-2. Bobby Woodward is the third to hit, so it's Chabria, Rorick, and Woodward. Like we said, we will be out of commission on Tuesday. I'm taking a day trip, and Wednesday we'll be back in action, same place, same time, but a different day for the second game of the semifinal set between CHP and the South Jersey Grizzlies. Swing and a miss. Chabria goes down on strikes. And that is strikeout number 1 for DeCostanzo tonight. I do stand corrected. DeCostanzo just picked up his first strikeout. Ebling up to 3 on the night. First pitch to Kingsway's John Rorick is a swing and a miss. 0-1. Rorick now over at DeSales University hits one to deep right field. And it's taken in for out number 2 for Bobby Woodward. Rorick up to this point in the season was batting .418. 3 extra base hits, 6 stolen bases, and .975 OPS. So here is Woodward. One of many In fact, seven Immaculata players on this 21-player roster for CHBR. Swing and a miss. I mean, when a third of your players all come from one university, that always helps. Donnie DiDonato, Alex LePage, Matt Long, Jack Norton, followed up with Nick Turnage, Hunter Weitzel, and Bobby Woodward, all a part of the same college. Unfortunately, that doesn't get much going there as the swing and a miss ends the inning. DiCostanzo picks up his first and second Ks of the night. We are through 3, and the Roughriders are all offense, 3-0. Top of the 4th inning from a beautiful Alcyon Park here on this Monday evening. Absolutely picturesque night for a game. 81 degrees. Relatively low humidity and no rain. I will take that any day of the week. And considering, you know, the coldest game that we ever covered on DWB was this year, as this one is tapped over the middle, out to short. Throw over is in time, and a very impressive 6-3 putout is out number 1 as Jake Grice taps out. Grice, McKenna, and Carbone, the first 3 in the 4th for the Roughriders. But, yeah, I mean, we had a game between RCSJ Gloucester and Camden County College all the way back on February 25th. That was a low of 36 degrees. Not to mention that there were river winds because we were at Camden and the Delaware River was blowing in, so it was a real feel of 30. That is a 3 and a 0. And yeah, that's why high school baseball does not start in February, but there you have it. 1-1 is a strike called, and it is 1-2. Floated into shallow center field. Rorick is back, and he backpedals to make the catch for out number 2. It is time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question, in honor of National Baseball Card Day being right around the corner, we will ask today's question, when was the first year that Topps released baseball cards? Was it A, 1970, B, 1963, 1983, C, 1961, or D, 1955? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. I've been meaning to find a way to make my baseball cards that have been sitting either in my closets or my storage shed or under my bed. I've been meaning to find a way to make them not valuable, but interesting. Like, we had this one project that we did a couple of years ago where we made a cabinet or a display case that holds baseball bobbleheads out of old baseball cards. And it's not made out of baseball cards. It's still your standard, like, IKEA display case, but there's a swing and a miss. That's a display of a great fastball there from Frankie Ebling as we go to the bottom of the fourth. He's up to 3 strikeouts tonight, and he has not allowed a base runner in 7 attempts as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. CHBR 0, Roughriders 3. CHBR looking for a spark, and you can spark up your kitchen decor with Tommy D's Home Improvement. Get your wholesale kitchen cabinets and countertops today at heavily discounted rates compared to big box retailers. Visit today at 612 Creek Road in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp. That was kind of clever. Hadn't really pulled that out of the bag before. I'm a little proud of myself for that one. DeCostanzo still rocking and rolling, though, as that's a base hit in the left field. Getting it started with CHBR in the bottom of the 4th inning with Sean Sesdewicki, who picks up his 43rd hit of the 2024 campaign.
Who's playing?
Got the Roughriders and Cherry Hill Babe Ruth.
How old are these kids?
Anywhere between high school, college. They're a bit all over the place.
Yeah, you got college kids here?
Yeah. Ground ball at the short. That's going to be picked up by Grice and not going to get anything going there. That will be an E6 against the Wagner College commit. That is the risky run when we set up in the outfield. Definitely gonna buy a light soon. There's a light on Amazon that you can buy that says on air. I'm gonna get one of those soon. I mean, God bless his heart, you know. Nothing wrong with them. Just see somebody in my peripheral just coming up to me. I thought I was gonna get a whooping to the back of my head. He's walking their dog. Older fellow with his wife. But it would definitely help to have one of those signs. Audubon alum Zach Welcher warming up in the pen for the Roughriders. A swing and a miss, but 2 runners on. And there is out number 1 as Justin Sesdewicki goes down on strikes. Brings up Damon Sirianni. So a single, an E6, and a strikeout have been the storylines in this fourth inning. There's the pitch to Suriani, as there's a strike. It is time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, when was the first year that beloved baseball card company Topps released their first ever baseball card? The options are A, 1970, B, 1983, C, 1951, or D, 1965. Vincent Folk, you got a guess?
I'm going to go with D.
You're close, but it's C, 1951. The cards that you see on the bottom right of your screen are some of the first ever made with Johnny Mize and Ralph Kiner. You might be able to see very faintly if you zoom in on your screen. There's a something that says 2 double in the top left of the screen and ball on the Ralph Kiner card on the bottom right. Now that was back in the day, back in the ye olden days of 1950. There was actually a baseball card game that you played, and if you had gotten that card, you would have gotten a double. It was kind of like a pseudo board game where you would advance your runners accordingly. And Zach Welcher almost made the catch on that foul ball down the right field line. Almost picked it up on a hop, but that's what it was, you know. In the 70s and 80s, during the wax era, you would put the baseball cards in your bicycle spokes. There was a famous line that that Matt Vasgersian did in the old MLB The Show games that said, and I never understood it as a kid when I played MLB 16 The Show 8 years ago, and I was like, you know, I was 10, 11 years old at the time, and I said, well, why is he saying, because at the end of the game, if your pitcher threw like a complete game, they would say, you know, this is your top player of the game. And one of his catchphrases that was programmed into the game, he would say, don't put that card in your bicycle spokes, it's our top player of the game, that kind of thing. And I never understood it until a couple years ago, you know, when I really got into baseball cards and I understood the whole phenomenon of putting kind of junk baseball cards of players you didn't know about in your bicycle spokes. You'd put the valuable ones, you'd put your Mark McGuires, you'd put your Barry Bonds, you'd put your Pete Roses into your folders and your collections and stuff, but the other ones that weren't all that valuable, you'd put in your bicycle spokes, and they make cool sounds, just like the kids today do with their SE bikes and their colored wheels and their colored, you know, brake grips and stuff. It's the same deal, just with baseball cards involved during the so-called junk wax era of the late 80s, early 90s. But with DiCostanzo a pitching mound visit in, he's now got to deal with the biggest challenge CHBR has given him, which is a base hit down the left field line. One run's going to score. They've got a throw from Sabato on the line to the plate, and he's safe. That ball gets away from Carbone, and it's a 2 RBI single for Julian Costa of Westchester, and it is 3-2. That is exactly what CHBR needed. I don't know if they had lost tonight. I don't know if they would have had that same momentum in game 2, but the least you can say here is that they've had a good offensive output in this frame. And, you know, the fact that they got Suriani all the way to third and a 2-run single by Costa, you know, hooking it down the left field line, a good piece of hitting in a lefty-lefty matchup. With the bases loaded and 1 out, you don't usually get the best results out of those. That usually is pretty pitcher friendly, but the fact that they were able to do that is successful, and this is going to tie the game. It bounces off of the glove of the right fielder, and it hooks down deep into the corner. He's going to get all the way to third, and Suriani scores to tie the game, and in the blink of an eye, CHBR is right back into this one. It's 3-3. That's a big gut punch for DiCostanzo. As we said, 0.67 ERA is a very difficult beat to top. But the fact that these guys have, you know, really put a beating on these guys in this frame is definitely impressive, with a 3 spot just like the Roughriders put up 3 in the top of the second inning. You know, offense in this league in general seems to happen in bursts and spurts. So Very interesting to see where this goes with 2 runners in scoring position. Still only 1 out. Jake Genove at the dish, takes 1 upstairs. Sesdewicki led off the 4th. He singled. Cizelka reached on an E6. Justin Sesdewicki struck out. Damon Suriani walked. Julian Costa got a 2-run single, and then Turnage got an RBI double down the right field line to tie up this game at 3-3. But I have a feeling that CHBR is not done. Roughriders had already been warming up Zach Welsher, so they have him ready just in case. And that is down. To 1 count. Welsher of Audubon, if he were to come in, has a 5.04 ERA. As this one is launched into deep left center field, it is going to one-hop off the Pittman sign in left center field. 2 runners are going to score, and CHBR has made it rain. It's 5-3. Turnage and Costa coming all the way around to score on a 2-run double. That caps a 5-run comeback to give CHBR the lead, and right away, Zach Welsher and his partner going out into the bullpen to warm up. Not surprising there, but these guys are going to make them fight for it. As Josh Genove gets CHBR's 4th hit of the frame, and their 5th overall tonight. The only hit that was not recorded in the 4th inning was Nick Cizelka, who got a base hit in the 1st inning but was picked off. There's a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And this is the part where if you're going to keep an offensive stretch going, this is that critical at-bat where you've got a pitcher waiting in the wings, but you've got to keep that momentum hot. You know, you don't have as many runners on base. There's a swing and a miss there to retire Chabria, who has struck out twice in as many at-bats for out number 2. John Rorick flew out to deep right his first time. But this is the part where, like, you guys have done your damage, and now the bottom of the order comes up and things are mellowing out a little bit. You know, Woodward obviously can hit. Rorick, a 400 hitter in his own right. The fact that CHBR itself has a 400 hitter, 400-plus hitter batting in the 9 spot just shows why this team was 18-1. But you've got to remember, as a 1 seed, these guys did not have an easy challenge. You know, they played Sewell, the Sewell Wolves, the 9 seed, who beat the favored Pine Barrens Phantoms, and now went to a full game 3, which ended up not ending perfectly for them, but I mean, hey, fact of the matter is, you know, Sewell held their own, and I am very excited to see what Ryan Austin and those guys in that Sewell crew have in store, because that is a special team in the making, but they just have to put the pieces together, and for the fact that it was their first year, certainly impressive. Rorick takes a ball, and it is 3-1. So Rorick takes ball 4. And Jake Swerdloff coming out. And it looks like D. Costanzo's night is done. He steps off the mound, and yeah, I mean, look, he was a very crucial part of last year's Carter Cup championship win for this team. And he had it for a good part of tonight, but something in that 4th inning just snapped, and he did not have his best inning. You know, obviously those 5 runs all coming basically in the blink of an eye. It just seemed like if you blinked, you missed it. And they are going to keep D. Costanzo in the game. So I assume because Swerdloff didn't come out that first time, it didn't count as an official visit. Therefore, he could stay in the game. Now, in this 4th inning, if things continue to go south, and if he has another mound visit, he has to be taken out. So that first one, because it was just pitcher and catcher and the infield, as long as the manager stays in the dugout and doesn't relay any official communications, as long as there's no official communications relayed there, then you can do as many of those as you see fit. Well, within reason. Bobby Woodward at the dish, looking to do more damage. He's ahead in the count 2-0. As these guys are looking to bat around, Woodward is the 10th batter this inning. Starting off with Sean Sesdewicki, who got his 43rd, league-leading 43rd hit of the year with his single in the first inning. And Woodward gets jammed way up there in the infield, over towards short. Grice is there to retire the side. We are through 4, but damage is done. CHBR puts up a 5 spot, and after the Roughriders had entered the inning high, they leave feeling a little low. But these guys have plenty of friends in low places, and they're looking to get right back into the swing of things. It's 5-3, CHBR after 4.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 5th inning, and this game has been turned on its head, to say the least. Zach Welcher still warming up in the pen for the Roughriders. The Audubon alum who helped win 2 state championships for the Green Wave in 2011 and 2012. Their last 2 state championships to date, but the most of a New Jersey public high school with 8, starting back in 1975. That's a hit by pitch to start the 5th for Sean Perkins. As here's Shane Daly. He struck out in the first inning and contributed with an RBI single as a part of that 3-run second frame for the Roughriders. I mean, we were doing so well with pace of play, and then, we had gotten through the first 4 innings, or excuse me, the first 3 innings in just a span of 38 minutes. There's a foul ball, and then CHBR decided to throw their party and put all their eggs in one basket. And hey, don't get me wrong, putting all your eggs in one basket can be good in this kind of situation, but definitely threw the Roughriders for a loop. The fact that they were down 3 and then put up 5 with that explosive 4th inning. This one is fouled way back. Hits a tree and comes back down to earth. This broadcast is brought to you by our good folks over at Tommy D's Home Improvement. I'm sorry, we already did that one, so we'll hold off for just a second here. But of course, our fine sponsors, Garden State Pet Center, Harper Driving School, Tommy D's Home Improvement, KP1 Racing Designs, and plenty more. We would love to give them a good shout out, and if you are a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can always send me an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We can give you an advertising flyer with information and pricing. All commercials you see on our YouTube page on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting are filmed, edited, recorded, and produced by me. It goes towards my college fund and towards equipment expenses. We would love to have your support. Even if you're not a small business owner and you'd like to contribute to the South Jersey athletics scene, you can always send us a contribution via our Venmo at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens, just DW Broadcasting. Of course, it's not required, and all of our broadcasts are free to view here on YouTube, but it is always appreciated for somebody who is trying to make this a career in their older years. This is a base hit in the center field by Monmouth's Eric Sabato. But I've said before, I'm an 18-year-old rising freshman at RCSJ Gloucester, formerly Gloucester County College. But trying to do this for a career someday, if I'm not already. So travel costs and, of course, for my college fund, anything is greatly appreciated, but not required in any way. Strike called after Sabato's base hit. Ebling, now that the tide has turned in his favor, kind of getting a second lease on life here in Game 1. I thought for sure if the Roughriders held on to that 3-0 lead, they were going to go to the bullpen very quickly. No, look at this. Doggy found a foul ball. Immediately started rushing towards it. He really wants that ball. He picked it up. He's got it. That's an out. In 1886 baseball, that's an out. Did he drop it? I don't know if he dropped it or if he still got it.
No, he's still.
I can't.
He's got it.
He still has it in his mouth. You know what? Is he bringing it back to the dugout to bring back to the Roughriders dugout? That's a good ball boy right there.
Didn't he have a dog that just retired from doing that type of stuff?
Yeah, over in Lakewood. For the Blue Claws, they had that. I know the Trenton Thunder, when they were an affiliate of the Yankees, had one for the longest time, had a bat dog that came out and retrieved the bats for the Thunder as they were going back to the dugout. It is kind of a dangerous profession, though. Humans can get out of the way faster than dogs, and they can listen to directions a little more. When you got thousands of people watching you, no one's fouled back. It's a 2 away. As Ebling up to 6 strikeouts on the night. But like I said, it was pretty certain that CHBR was going to go to the bullpen. As this one is jammed over the mound, it's going to go into shallow right field. Rorick waves on it, and Turnage picks it up for an RBI single for Ian Murphy, an unusual one at that, and it is now 5-4. Scoring Perkins on that play. That's a good piece of hitting, when you're down in the count and you're just trying to get something going, especially for somebody that was 0 for 2 going into this at-bat, It keeps everything close, and you don't want CHBR getting too high on their pedestal, especially if you're the Roughriders. So these guys are going to do everything that they can to keep this series close, because they know that if CHBR gets a ride, they might not look back. And this might be an easy series if CHBR plays all their cards right, but they haven't played all of their cards right this postseason. Line drive, that one goes into center field for a base hit, and that ties the game. Jake Swerdloff, now 2 for 3 on the night, helping his team's cause tremendously, and he drives home the runner Sabato to make it a 5-5 game. What can I say? Good piece of hitting. Not much you can take away from that other than just a good piece of hitting. And the fact that these guys are responding very quickly to that 5-run frame by CHBR, not letting their heads get down and keeping their heads up throughout the entire way. Certainly a vote of confidence, as Ebling will get taken out of the game. His final line tonight, 6 strikeouts across 4 2/3 innings. allows 5 runs, and only 4 of them will be earned tonight. And we will have a new pitcher very shortly for CHBR, as we'll be right back with a DWB pitching change. We resume with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Roughriders have come back to tie this one at 5 apiece. All right, well, this game officially is about as high scoring as the Yankees and Phillies are right now. 7-2 in the top of the 5th inning. Not a great night, not a great week or month for the Phillies, but still have the best record in baseball somehow. That's just the way it is. I think that's a good way of showing how good the Phillies were in the first half. The fact that we've had such a monstrous rough patch in this month of July, and we are still the best team in baseball, goes to show how, dreamy those April, May, and June months were. New pitcher for CHBR is Hunter Wenzel. As we said, one of the 7 CHBR players out of Immaculata. I mean, when a third of your team comes from the same university, it's very impressive. He has allowed 0 runs in 5 2/3 innings, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and a 0.18 whip. But he is coming in here to try to save not only his 0 ERA, but also put this game into a better hands for CHBR, as they have allowed 2 runs in the top of the 5th. And Frankie Ebling has been taken out of the game after 4 2/3. As we said, his final line from the evening, 5 runs on only 4 hits. There was the 2 hits from Swerdloff, 1 from Murphy, and 1 from Sabato. A whole bunch of walks, though, including a bases-loaded walk that got the first run of the game across in the second. 3 runs in the second for the Roughriders, and 2 in the 5th up to this point, as Wenzel is going to try to shut the party down with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Runners go. This one's tapped out towards short, picked up by Sesdawicki. Fires this one across the diamond, and it's in time to retire the side and stop the bleeding. So Wenzel comes in, works a count full, and gets out of the jam. Roughriders still looking to defend what they have so far, going to the bottom of the 5th in a 5-5 tie game.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp.
Sean Sesdewicki will get us started at the top of the order in the bottom of the 5th inning. But Zach Welsher officially replaces and relieves John DiCostanzo, one Colonial Conference opponent to another. DiCostanzo finishes his night with 4 innings pitched with a grand total of 4 strikeouts, 5 runs, and because of the error early on in the 5th inning, only 3 of his runs are earned. That'll be a base hit into left field, a very nonchalant base hit for Sesdewicki, his second of the night, and he is 2 for 3. But, you know, CHBR definitely put themselves back on the map after a shaky series versus Sewell last week. Put up 5 runs in the 4th inning, got all 10 men to the plate from Sesdewicki all the way down to Woodward, as here is Cizelka. 1 for 2 tonight, a single in the 1st, and reached on an error by shortstop Jake Grice in the 4th. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Light throw over to first, not in time. Fouled off. And it's 1-2. There's a line drive. That skips into right field for a base hit. Picked up. They're going to hold the runner at second base. So CHBR not slowing down in any way, shape, or form. As Cizelka reaches base for the 3rd time tonight. That one is cracked out towards second base. They flip for 1, they flip for 2, and they get 2. 4-6-3 double play, not the first of its kind turn tonight, and maybe not the last, as this defense has been really good for out number 2. And that's a showstopper for these guys. You know, they wanted to keep Roughriders on their bones. You know, they wanted to keep them on their toes, is what I'm saying. You know, they got 2 straight singles, barreled up a ball again, but just drove it into the ground and grounded into a double play. You know, that's something that kind of takes the wind out of your sails when you're already running really hot. You're hitting pitches really early. You're getting at-bats done and over with in, you know, record short times. So, you know, there's nothing you can really do to complain about that, because that's just how you're rolling. So, here we go again to Suriani, the number 4 hitter off of Welcher. That one is down. One ball, 2 strikes, and a very quick out number 2. One, 2, 2 outs. And this one is ripped foul. Deep in the right field, and it lands into the soccer pitch. We are officially 1 month away from DWB football season. On Thursday, August 29th, the Palmyra Panthers and the Riverside Rams square up in a Week 0 matchup over in Riverside. Stay tuned for more information on the DWB football schedule. Of course, you can find the full schedule available on our Instagram and Twitter at DW Broadcasting. There's a ground ball out towards short, picked up by Grice. Throw across the diamond is in time, and how about that? 2 straight singles. Looked like CHBR was going to get hot again, but Roughriders deny them any opportunity with a 4-6-3 double play and a ground ball to retire the side. We are through 5. Still 2 more frames to play, but we still have a winner to determine. It's 5-5.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
All right, still kicking strong here in the top of the 6th inning as Hunter Weitzel getting his second taste of glory here in the Tri-County semifinal. Here's a strike called. McKenna, Carbone, and Perkins, 7, 8, 9 for the Roughriders in the 6th as they look to finally get ahead and get something going here in the 6th. You know, these guys have not really been locked in for too long. You know, Roughriders had the lead for most of the night. CHBR took that away, and as quickly as they got the lead, Roughriders stole that back. with a 2-run fifth to tie the game at 5-5, and we have been in a deadlock ever since. So there's always something magical at Alcyon Park that happens, and always seems to be that way, so I wouldn't be surprised if the same result is true tonight. Strike called. And there is out number 1 of the 6th. CHBR with the 7th strikeout combined between their two pitchers tonight, Weitzel and Ebling. Two-one count to the lefty Carbone, who is 0 for 1 tonight. A walk and a strikeout on his resume tonight. 3-1. That is ball 4, so a 5-pitch walk to Carbone gets the Roughriders started with 1 away in the 6th. I mean, something like that, something very simple on paper can be, you know, kind of a zeitgeist for what it means to kickstart an offensive inning. You know, look, these guys haven't scored since I mean, they scored in the last inning, but before that they hadn't scored since the 2nd. You know, their scoring has been very spread out tonight. 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 5th. You know, they seem to come in bunches, just like they do with CHBR. So, you know, we're going to see what happens, and we're going to see how these guys adapt in the later innings of this game. Because, you know, look, the Roughriders, they were down 1-0 in the series and then won games 2 and 3 over Siddaminson. So it's not relatively surprising to say that was something that you could see coming. But at the same time, these guys have been through adversity before, and they're going to try to fight through it at every waking hour. Foul back off the fence. Two away here, and we're gonna have a courtesy runner as we go back to the top of the order as Perkins goes down. As Shane Daly, who is 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and an RBI single for his cause tonight for the Roughriders. That one is popped up. Actually, more than popped up into right field and caught by Turnage to retire the side. So CHBR now has the world in its hands. We'll see what they can do as somebody's going to win in their last at-bat tonight. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 5-5 is the score that still holds. Zach Welcher still working in the bottom of the sixth inning, looking to keep CHBR out of the lead. Which certainly would help because there is a guarantee somebody's winning in their last at-bat tonight. That one is speared at short. Throw to first in time. Jake Bryce have a day. Wonderful diving play at short for out number 1 in the sixth as Costa is retired. Here is Nick Turnage. 1 for 2 tonight. A ground out in the second inning. And a RBI double as a part of that monster 5-run fourth inning. That has been CHBR's only offensive output tonight. Strike called. One and two to count. That one is down. That one is also rocketed out towards short. Grice is there. Another great play. And that's why he's Division I. It's for a reason as the class of 24 grad from Heights collects out number 1 and out number 2. I mean, he's just been really effective on defense tonight. You know, not only has he been picking up assists, he's been picking up, you know, flyouts, pop-outs, and those pesky ground balls as well, but also turning a couple double plays. That is a roller up the third baseline and foul. So Genove will head back to the dish with an 0-1 count. There's a grounder to third. 3 ground ball outs and a 2-minute frame send us to the 7th and a tie game, setting up something special here at Alcyon Park with a 5-5 tie game as CHBR goes down in order. We'll be right back. Top of the 7th inning, and something special is cooking in the kitchen here at Alcyon Park. A 5-5 game between the Roughriders and CHBR, as that one was inside to Eric Sabato, the meat of the order in the 7th. 2, 3, and 4, Sabato, McKenna, and Murphy for the Roughriders, as that one is a swing and a miss, 0-2. As we said, both semifinal series are at Alcyon Park. South Jersey Grizzlies and Cherry Hill Pittman kick off tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, but I will not be around, so we will instead cover their Game 2 on Wednesday night here from Alcyon Park. Popped up into right field, Rorick. Yeah, nobody sees it, and it's a foul ball. Nobody saw it. Genove didn't see it. Rorick didn't see it, and he just kind of lost it in the lights. I mean, it's still pretty, bright with the lights out, but sometimes if it's beaten down on a hot summer day, you lose it in the sun. In this case, they lost it in the lights. And Rorick will not be charged with an error, as it did not hit his glove or his person. And that one drills him right in the back. Great start for the Roughriders. That is a great, albeit painful start for these guys, especially for the Roughriders. Think about it this way. CHBR, just on paper, is the favorite in this series. And if the Roughriders can win Game 1, especially looking for their 3rd title in 4 years, they can 100% at least change the momentum of this series. You know, it's a 3-game series, so there isn't much momentum to be had. It's 1 game wins, 1 game loses, and then a 3rd game decides everything else. And then, you have a couple of good nights back to back, and you've got yourself an excellent situation for you, including a series win. So I thought they were they will do a pitching change here. So the closer, Jack Norton, will come in. He made his first start in over 2 years back last Friday versus the Sewell Wolves in a 14-3 win where he went 5 frames. So he will come in back in his assumed current role, which is closing position. We'll be right back as the Roughriders and CHBR are tied up 5-5 here in the 7th. Top of the 7th inning. And there are those pesky birds. You think they bought tickets to the game? I don't think so. But they're in and out. Here from Alcyon Park tonight as the camera has decided to go blurry on us. There we are. I decided to zoom in on the birds for 5 seconds and it didn't like that. So Eric Sabato hit by a pitch, and this means a pitching change. That one is a ball to Shea McKenna. Strike called, 1-1. Throw back to first, not in time. Fouled back. One ball, 2 strikes. Roughriders right-hander warming up in the pen. Just in case Roughriders do need a closer in the bottom of the 7th. But they'll have to take the lead first. This one's a swing and a miss. And there's out number 1. CHBR now 9 combined strikeouts in their 6 1/3 frames. So there's one away. But Sabato with a hit by pitch. McKenna strikes out, and this brings up Ian Murphy. And of course, Yankees just extended the lead again, 9-3. Aaron Judge, second home run of the night. Sure, it went even farther than the first one. Fouled back. 0-1 to Murphy. Murphy 1 for 3. Had an RBI single as a part of that two-run fifth inning, but also contributed a flyout to right and a strikeout in the first and third, respectively. Strike called. That one's a ground ball out towards short. They do not flip to second. Says the Wiki over to first. Throw is wide, and they say he got him. Roughriders did not like the call. They're trying to say that he was off the bag at first. And Swerdloff is about to come up to the plate, but he's also the manager, so if he wants to make an argument, he'll have to do so from the on-deck circle. Well, now he's standing on first. I assume, yeah, the umpires are talking it over. But this is a big turning point. And this is a really interesting moment where Jake Swerdloff is getting the explanation as the manager and as the batter. Don't think you see that every day, but they did call him out, and they will say that that is a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. But hey, that could be a big turning moment. If CHBR wins this tonight, there could be a lot of debates over whether he was pulled off the bag at first as Swerdloff takes a strike. And the Roughriders chirping already, not a fan of that strike call. Swerdloff steps out of the box. He nods a little bit. 2 away. Swerdloff 2 for 3, doubled in the second, struck out in the third, and had an RBI single in the fifth inning. In that frame that the Roughriders tied the game at 5-5. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. But yeah, you could definitely be looking at a couple of different plays and seeing how they impact tonight. You're watching coverage of the Tri-County Baseball Semifinals here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. 1 ball, 2 strikes from the right-hander, and Norton throws that one down, 2-2. Like we said, the Roughriders for the past couple of batters have had a right-hander warming up in the pen as maybe a precautionary measure. I mean, maybe Welsher's going to come out for the 7th. I'm not sure. Haven't really seen him around, but he is an exclusive pitcher for this Roughriders club, so you're not going to see him on the bases. That is a swing and a miss. And a controversial frame nonetheless, but Swerdloff goes down on strikes, and now CHBR has a chance to play hero, looking to take the Roughriders' momentum away and take a 1-0 lead as the 1 seed in this tournament. We'll be right back as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It is a 5-5 game. So no changes for the Roughriders. Zach Welsher still holding strong here in the 7th. As the first pitch is a ball, 1-0. It is Chabria, Rorick, and Woodward. 8, 9, and 10 for CHBR here in the bottom of the 7th. Big chance to play hero with just one swing of the bat. There's a swing and a miss. And it is 1-1. Don't forget our next broadcast will be Wednesday at 7 o'clock for Game 2 of the Tri-County Baseball League semifinals between the South Jersey Grizzlies and the Cherry Hill Pittman Club at 7 o'clock from Alcyon Park. As we will be out of the office on Tuesday, back in action 48 hours from now over in Pittman. And then Carter Cup Finals, believe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Don't quote me on that. But when we find out, we'll have full updates on our Instagram and Twitter at DW Broadcasting. Also on our Facebook at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Chabria, formerly of Lenape, 2 strikeouts tonight for the former member of the tribe. Welsher facing off against the lefty, ahead in the count, but the 2-strike pitch is gonna miss. Looked a little close there, but he'll get the benefit of the doubt. I can't remember the last time there was a walk-off in the... You know what? It was probably Game 2 of the Carter Cup last year, right? Yeah. Or it was Game 1 of the Carter Cup, I think. Because Game...
One of those two.
Yeah. Because the Roughriders swept Cherry Hill Pittman to win the championship. I just don't know why my memory is blanking that much. Full count, 3-2. That's going to hit him, and it puts what could be the winning run on base. It was difficult enough with a full count, but the Drew University product gets a runner on. A couple of words being exchanged between somebody. Somebody in the CHBR dugout said something of note. Said something along the lines of learn the rules. But ball 1. Strike called. So a little bit of chirping going on down there in the dugout, which is bound to happen in a tense playoff situation, but sometimes these guys got to put their money where their mouth is, you know? Swing and a miss by Rorick on a foul tip. And it's 1-2. But hey, I mean, you like to see this. You like to see some fierce intensity out of these guys. You know, this goes to show this isn't just any summer league where these guys play for 2 months, then they go home and they act like nothing happened. You know, some of these guys have grudges. Some of these guys have grievances and complaints as Rorick airs this one out towards center field, and it's caught. 1 away. And the Roughriders did take Game 1 of last year's Carter Cup 2 extra innings in a 0-0 game, and then scored 2 in that extra frame to win by a final score of 2-0. So I stand corrected because the other Tri-County semifinal game from last year, which was game 2 between CHBR and CHP, ended in a Cherry Hill Pittman walk-off 3-2 in 9 innings. So that's where I stood corrected. Welsher steps off. So if Cherry Hill BR wins it, they would be the visiting team versus the Roughriders on Wednesday night. Although that goes to the backstop. And the go-ahead winning run is in scoring position. A little blooper wins it. So Woodward trying to make the day his, as he is 0 for 2 going into this at-bat. And he's got the men waiting in the wings, possibly the best 1-2-3 in the entire league. The Sesdewicki brothers and Nick Cizelka popped up to first. Murphy goes over towards the fence, makes the catch, 2 outs. A foul ball with extraordinary effort by Ian Murphy. And the Roughriders are 1 out away from sending this game to an extra frame. And now Jake Swerdloff coming out, making sure everybody's on the same page here, because guess what? I mean, you are facing a guy who came into this game with a .556 batting average, the league leader in almost every offensive category known to man, including batting average, including OPS. And they're going to intentionally walk Justin Sesdewicki, which I am not at all surprised by. You could hear that, those kind of sarcastic boos. It's smart, but also kind of obvious. 2 outs, first base is open, you take that any day. And with Murphy making such a good catch, maybe you want to ride the coattails of that confidence with Nick Cizelka. First pitch to Cizelka is a ball, 1-0, just missed outside. And Cizelka, guess what? He has also been extremely productive tonight. 2 for 3, 2 singles, and also reached on an error. So he has reached base all 3 times tonight for CHBR. Now he lifts this one foul. And that's the best case scenario for these guys right now. There are not a lot of options left for CHBR. You know, you've got 2 outs, you got 2 runners on. Every out is a force out except for home. So you kind of have to hit it into the air, and you kind of have to hope that nobody catches it out in the outfield. You know, a ground ball here, 99% of situations doesn't work. Ground ball out to first. Murphy takes it himself, and he's going to slide into the bag, and he is out. So 7 frames will not suffice tonight, and an extra inning is in order. So chop, and let's get this underway. Through 7, it is 5-5 between Roughriders and CHBR. Welcome back to Alcyon Park, one of the most picturesque venues here in South Jersey. And it's so picturesque that these players don't want to leave. They decided 7 innings, not enough, we'll play an 8th. Jack Norton's first pitch fouled back, and it's 0-1. I mean, not only a beautiful night here from Alcyon Park, but a beautiful game. I mean, this has been back and forth. Roughriders were up 3-0. They had all the momentum, and then CHBR put everything to a halt in the 4th with a 5-run, 10-batter frame. And then in the top of the 5th, Roughriders responded very quickly with a 2-run frame of their own to tie the game at 5, and we have been deadlocked ever since, even though CHBR got the winning run on and intentionally walked a batter to get there. A quick tap out by Nick Cizelka ended the threat and sends us to the extra inning where you join us now. Jack Norton delivers upstairs and inside. The last time, as we said, a game went to extra innings here at Alcyon Park with the Tri-County League that we covered was Game 1 of the finals, the Carter Cup finals last year, between the Roughriders and Cherry Hill Pittman. There was a 0-0 score after regulation, and it took 9 innings to decide a winner in what ended up being a 2-0 final in favor of the Roughriders as they went on to win the series 2-0 and sweep the series. As Norton with a 2-2 count, nobody out, and the pitch lined out towards left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. And the Roughriders have some momentum as Jake Grice, the youngster, probably one of the youngest fellas on this team, gets the party started. You cannot ask for much better than that to start your inning, you know, especially against probably one of CHBR's best pitchers in Norton. You always have to think ahead with these guys, and with the Roughriders coming in as second in the Central Division, you know, they did not get a first-round bye, had to go through the play-in round in the qualifier round, and that was not easy for them. So the fact that they have gotten where they are now, definitely a good sign. Up and in to Cole McKenna, the Seton Hall Pirates commit, as there's a strike called, 1-1. Grice appearing on base for the second time tonight. He had consecutive 6-3 groundouts, a hit by pitch, and a single. So now 1 for 3 on the campaign tonight. Norton delivers, low and away. Just not really gripping that fastball in the zone. He's thrown it high and in, he's thrown it down and low. He has the blueprint for where he wants to go, but he's just not getting there. And that's one of those things about being a short-term relief pitcher, is that, you know, if you don't have the control, the purpose of your job isn't really there. You know, you have to be able to control your pitches in order to have the job that you have. And that one is lofted out towards straightaway left center field. Might split the gap here, but no, it is caught by Cizelka. Sans cap, and there is one away. Checking in at the 2-hour, 8-minute mark as we started 5 minutes early at 6:55 tonight. And Evan Carbone, the lefty catcher and first-team All-NJAC Rising Junior at Rutgers Camden, takes a pitch at the eyes, 1-0. Carbone 0 for 1, a strikeout and 2 walks, so he has been patient tonight, to say the least. Like we said, that same right-hander warming up in the pen for the Roughriders, number 18. If or when he comes into the game, we'll let you know who that fellow is. That one is outside. But for those just joining us, an entertaining game tonight with a fair bit of offense, and offense in bunches. There has not been a single inning tonight where, or excuse me, a single inning where one run exactly was scored. There have been multiple runs in every inning that they have, that either team has scored. 3 in the top of the second for the Roughriders, 5 in the bottom of the fourth for CHBR, and then 2 in the top of the second, or 2 in the top of the fifth rather, for the Roughriders. And we have stayed put ever since. Count is now 3-1 as Norton, the former phenom out of Gateway Regional High School, with Coach Pietroforte there, now taking his talents over from Gwynedd Mercy, and now getting the chance in game 1 of the semifinals. There's a swing and a miss. Count is full. On deck is the number 9 batter, Shane Perkins, who has struck out. He's been plunked, and he grounded into a double play in his first at-bat. That one's grounded out towards short. Says the Wiki has a play at second. Rorick, oh! Wow! A lot of chirping going on there as Roughriders are going to get called out for interference. It's a double play. Wow. There is a lot of words being exchanged there, and you could see that his hand kind of went in, and Grice not happy at all. Welsher not happy either, having a word with the umpires who are now walking away. As this game is getting feisty, and you know, there's really nothing that I mean, that's the thing, is that Says the Wiki looked like he was going to throw over to first, and then he pump fakes a little bit through to second. And I think the point of contention is that Grice, if you slow it down, it almost looked like he, kind of, I don't know what the best word is, like he kind of reached his hand out and he didn't slide. Now, he doesn't have to slide. He can just stand up and keep running as long as he doesn't interfere with the play. So I think the point of contention and the controversy there was that not only did he keep running, but he kept running in a manner that prevented John Rorick from making the play at first. Because if he just slides and stops his motion, then you've got a double play. I mean, Carbone, he's fast, but he's not a speed demon out of the box. Like, that is a play that CHBR could have made. And it was broken up, and the umpires made the call on the spot. So these guys are going to take the field, and we will have a pitching change here on DWB as the fella number 18, actually number 19, is in the game. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with extra innings here on DWB. Well, an interesting scene here from Alcyon Park. Everyone in the dugout is, well, mostly standing. I mean, this has been a game that is entertaining, but has gotten a little bit chippy in the last couple of innings, and there were a couple of words exchanged and some pleasantries, and hopefully it doesn't end up escalating, but you want this game to end in a peaceful manner. But hey, the grit and grind of these guys playing in Summer League ball is very admirable. You know, you can scoff at all the chirping if you want, but there are some summer leagues out there where the players are just playing and they don't have any team camaraderie. They're not really backing up their guys. They're more playing for themselves than for a team. And look, these guys are voluntarily in there to make a difference and to win this championship and, you know, win that prize money. So look, you know, they're gonna play with their hearts out, and they're going to back up their guys. You know, these guys have good camaraderie, especially CHBR and the Roughriders in particular, and Cherry Hill Pittman. You know, they have some tight teams. You know, those guys have known each other and played with each other for 10, 15 years at this point. Especially Billy Rice and Chris Rollins, they go way back. But the new pitcher, Chris Brown, has a strike called. Chris Brown with a 2-flat ERA, 7 innings pitched, 8 walks, 2 earned runs, and a 1.57 whip, a 125, very admirable 125 batting average against. That is a strike swinging, and it is full count, 3-2. By the way, after the controversial interference call, Shane Perkins will lead us off in the bottom of the, will lead us off at the top of the ninth if we get there, as there's strike one. Justin Sesdewicki is retired, and here is Damon Sirianni of Barton College, formerly of Gloucester Catholic fame. Sirianni to be followed up by Julian Costa. That one is hit well out towards right center field, and it's going to drop in front of the right fielder. Sirianni holds up. He stops there very wisely, and a one-out single by Sirianni. But hey, we had a very similar situation in the last inning where one runner got a base hit, got in a scoring position, but then didn't do anything. So if you're a CHBR fan at this point, I wouldn't hold my breath. You know, look, they haven't scored since the 4th inning when they had that 5-run outburst. Julian Costa of Westchester is going to look to make everyone's day here for the red and teal. That one is popped up foul. Sirianni with his 4th at-bat gets his first hit. He was 0 for 2 to that point, a walk, 2 groundouts, and the single. Costa had a 2-run single as a part of that 5-run frame in the 4th, but had 2 groundouts otherwise, so he is 1 for 3 on the campaign. He goes the other way, down the left field line. That ball is fair. Now the runner's going to go to third. A little bit of trouble picking that one up, and Julian Costa has a 1-out double. CHBR is on the edge of a Game 1 victory. And now the infield immediately having a quick conference with Chris Brown. The prospect out of Arcadia University. Swerdloff out to meet with him. Swerdloff, one of the youngest managers in the league for Tri-County, and one of the youngest in Tri-County history. He is a graduate student at UMass Amherst, the main University of Amherst, University of Massachusetts campus, and just 23 years old, taking over for the duties of Thomas Gasse, who was the longtime manager of the, well, not long time, but well-respected manager. So they're going to intentionally walk their next batter here, which is Nick Turnage, and this will bring up Josh Genove to the plate. Well, anything can happen here. So, bases loaded. Only one out, and Chris Brown has his back against the wall here in game one. After a single, double, and an intentional walk, CHBR looking to win it. First pitch, swing and a miss. But this is the perfect example of nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You've got to force out at every base, but obviously if the ball is playable on the ground, you're going to have to play it at the plate. I mean, you've got Sirianni at third, but here's the thing. None of these guys that are on the bases right now, Turnage, Costa, or Sirianni, are particularly fast. Like, that's not the primary asset of their game. However, it doesn't really matter, because when that adrenaline is running through your bones, you can run 20% faster than you can in any other situation. And when you've got anxiety going on throughout the entire infield tonight, it's going to be a tough situation no matter what. We've seen that play with Rancocas Valley and Gloucester Catholic. A routine play at the plate with the bases loaded ended with an error. Here's the pitch from Brown. Up and in. 1-1. And this is one of those situations where you can't be neat and pretty with the strike zone either. You've got to lay it where it hurts. Because right now, look, bases loaded walk ends the game. Bases loaded hit by pitch, bases loaded balk. Any of those scenarios ends this game in the blink of an eye. Here is the 1-1 from Brown. That one is hit out towards short. Grice has a play at the plate. He gets him there, and Carbone holds off on the throw to first. And they do hold him off there for out number 2. All right, so now play at any base. And here is Chabria. Looking to play hero for CHBR. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch skips low, and that was a dangerously close pitch to being a walk-off hit by pitch. That's one of those plays where you hold your breath when that ball comes out of your hand. Chabria, the lefty. 0 for 2 tonight. A hit by pitch and 2 strikeouts. They're going to say he went around. And it's 1-1. You can see everyone on the CHBR dugout on the top step. Not a single soul sitting down. Neither are we in the broadcast booth. This is a fun night to be a Tri-County fan. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back, barely made contact with it. And he's got another lease on life here for Chabria. This is the last batter of the inning. Either Chabria walks it off and the game is over, or we go to the 9th inning. They're not even lining up anyone in the on-deck circle because it's impossible mathematically. One, 2. Upstairs. Two balls, 2 strikes. Upstairs. 3-2.
Oh, this is crazy.
Infield is playing deep. Murphy and Grice specifically playing beyond the edge of the dirt and into the shallow outfield grass. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. 3-2. Popped way up into center field. He calls for it, and oh my, how about that? After 8, we are still alive. Chabria flies out with the bases loaded. We go to the 9th, and for the 3rd time in DWB coverage of Tri-County postseason baseball, It is not a 7th inning that does it. It is not an 8th inning that does it. It is indeed a 9th inning. We'll be right back. 5-5. Well, like we said before, we have had 3 Tri-County games under the lights of Alcyon Park and under the lights of our camera go to a 9th inning as Jack Norton fires the first pitch. Ball, 1-0. Roughriders dugout loving it, for sure. A lot of added enthusiasm with this playoff game. That one is absolutely launched into center field. Does it have the distance? It had the angle, but it did not have the distance. What a fake out. One away. Perkins flies out to center field. I mean, you saw that off the bat. Everybody's heads turned up and saw how far it would land, but a high launch angle does not mean high distance, and there's out number 1. I mean, CHBR, even though they didn't win in the 8th, they worked the Roughriders to the bone. To the absolute bone. I mean, bases loaded, nobody out, or I'm sorry, bases loaded, 1 out. Got a play at the plate for out 2, and then Chabria flew out the straightaway center for out number 3. I mean, you do not get much more bone-chilling than that. I mean, they had the death of game 1 knocking on the door, and he got a foot in, but then was kicked out at the last moment. So the Roughriders get another chance, and who knows if it's with Arcadia's Chris Brown on the hill, because Chris Brown is going to have a chance to, you know, knock some more into CHBR in the 9th. That's going to be a foul ball, and I'm very glad that we're watching this game and not the Phillies game, because I just got a notification. Garrett Stubbs, with a 45 ERA, is relieving Gregory Soto in the 9th. So that'll tell you how good the Phillies are doing right now, as we have a Garrett Stubbs pitching appearance. But if you're turning off the Phillies game, you should turn on the Tri-County game. I would argue it's a better product. I mean, hey, you have your Aaron Judge, you've got Zach Morales. 4 home runs, the Tri-County home run champion of the season, including one that we captured versus the Pine Barrens back in June, that went 422 feet, the 3rd longest home run on DWB this season. That is a ball. And the count is full. With Shane Daly, the leadoff man, versus Gateway's Jack Norton. Fouled back. Hold on here. It looks like it's going to go out, though. And it does. Still 3-2. Daly now stepping in for his 5th at-bat of the night. Struck out in the 1st, had an RBI single in the 2nd. Also struck out in the 5th and flew out to right in the 6th. So he is looking to right the ship with a 1-for-4 record tonight. That one is cracked out towards short, deep into the hole, and he got him. Justin Sesdewicki with another great throw. And there is out number 2. here is Sabato. Sabato 2 for 4, 2 flyouts, 2 singles. And those 2 flyouts came in the first 2 frames, so he has lined 2 singles in the 5th and 7th innings respectively. So he has a chance to add on to that here for the Monmouth product. There's a strike. Roughriders dugout not too keen on that call. Foul back 0-2. Definitely early on that swing, just going to show the range of velocity that Norton has. You know, we saw it up close and personal in Camden on Friday night, or on Thursday night, excuse me. Definitely a great performance for him for his first start in nearly 2.5 years since he was a freshman at Gwynedd Mercy. That is a ball. And it's 1-2, just missed off the corner. And again, I've been using this term like a broken record tonight, but he gets a second lease on life in the batter's box. For Sabato, 2 for 4. That is down. Two-two to Sabato. Norton is set. Kicks and delivers. Early again on that one. This time barrels it up onto the softball field. Still 2-2. Seems like things have, knock on wood, calmed down after a relatively fired up 7th and 8th inning. But guess what? I mean, that is the kind of intensity that you want in a semifinal game. You know, these guys are competing for a championship. Roughriders, obviously one of the most grassroots and homegrown teams in this league. One of the oldest as well. 3 championships in total, 1992 and also 2021 and 2023, with Cherry Hill, Pittman taking it home in 2022, back when they were just Cherry Hill before the merger 2 years ago. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Jack Norton with a lot to work with, and a swing and a miss. He was early all day and late at closing time. Jack Norton gets the strikeout, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Still deadlocked. These guys are more locked in than ever before, and it's still 5-5. Bottom of the ninth inning, and we have had 3 Tri-County games in the postseason to go to 9 frames. All of them have been here. And all 3 either involved the Roughriders or Cherry Hill BR. The semifinals last year, in Game 2, that CHP won over CHBR to clinch a spot in the Carter Cup. Also, Game 1 of the Carter Cup Finals last year, that went to 9 innings and a 2-0 Roughriders win, and now both teams are involved. You're in Game 1 of the semifinals, so an interesting development nonetheless, but John Rorick gets us started. That one is down. 2-1. Rorick, Woodward, and Sean Sesdewicki. 9, 10, and 1 are the 3 batters due up. Of course, the 8th inning ended controversially. Or not the 7th inning ended controversially, let's say that. But the 8th inning, CHBR had bases loaded with 1 out. Roughriders made a play at the plate to keep the game on life support, and then a fly out to center by Chabria advanced the game to where we are now in the 9th. Swing and a miss, and it is 3-2. Rorick, the second baseman out of DeSales University and formerly of Kingsway in a class of 23 product, has 2 flyouts and a walk tonight. 0 for 2 is the total record for the second baseman, Rorick. With the catcher and power hitting slugger, Bobby Woodward on deck. That one is ripped foul. Right past the light towers and into the abyss below on the soccer field. And as we said, Rorick went into this game as a .418 hitter, which is impressive considering that he's the 9 hitter on this club. These guys have 8 guys above him in the order, and yet he's a .400 hitter who kind of perfectly knows his role on the team and executes it perfectly. That's ball 4. And John Rorick, for the 3rd inning in a row, not him specifically, but CHBR now is a leadoff base runner in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So this is interesting. Rorick picking up his 8th walk of the season. He has 8 walks, 6 stolen bases, and an 85% stolen base attempt successfulness. Woodward 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop out, and a pop out to first. In his last at-bat, that wonderful play by Ian Murphy inside, and it's 2-0. But Brown's still working. As we said, he got out of that jam in the 8th. He kind of earned another inning on his own volition because of how fierce his performance was to keep the Roughriders alive in the 8th. Here is the 2-0 to Woodward. Rorick is going. As we said, he's 6 for 7, and now he is 7 for 8 with a stolen base. Throw went into center field, but he holds up. And once again, CHBR is on the cusp of victory. And as the counterpoint, how many times have we said that, and then it didn't go anywhere? That's how hard that slide was from John Rorick. We've got a dust cloud erupting from second base, going into the light. After a brief pause, Woodward steps back into the box. We have not had any Tri-County game go past 9 innings. And no regular season or playoff game has gone past 9 innings this year. There have been a handful that have gone to 8, and a very slim few that have gone to 9, but none have made the trip all the way to 10. Strike called. Woodward thought it was a bit inside, and he is retired for out number 1. And once again, I mean, this is 2004 Barry Bonds all over again. Says DeWicki walks. I mean, would you throw in a walk-off situation to a 556 hitter? I wouldn't either. I don't blame them. The boos are funny because they're sarcastic, but it's funny. And for a guy that already had 2 singles, he has now reached base 4 of 5 times. A fly out in the first, and then 2 consecutive singles and 2 consecutive intentional walks. .1-0 is a swing and a miss. They're going to say he made contact on that one. For Nick Sazelka. Runner goes, throw down to third. Looks good, but it's not in time. And now, Roughriders, for God knows how many times we've said it tonight, are on the edge again. They are having their backs against the wall. By the way, the last time a 7-inning scheduled game went longer than 9 innings on a DWB broadcast was April 27th, 2022, as the runner goes. Here's a ground ball back to Murphy. Spears it at first, and he'll tag the bag for out number 2. That hesitation by Murphy was excellent. I mean, he knew exactly, textbook definition, how to do that. He didn't rush, panic. He didn't fire a throw to the plate. He knew that if he could just hold Rorik at bay, you eliminate that force out altogether, and now you just play at the easiest base. Swerdloff now coming out, and now looking to either meet with Brown or replace him, but I mean, it seems simple at first, but I mean, Murphy made a great play there, so there's not much you can say. I mean, that was a good play. And now you've got Justin Sesdewicki, who is not the same threat that Sean is, but you also have to consider that by that we mean he's also a 400 hitter. If you average those two, the Sesdewicki brothers, if you averaged their 2 batting averages together, they would average a 478. That's incredible. I mean, that is unprecedented in years and years of Tri-County baseball, research and everything that we can find on the internet. There are a very slim picking of players who have had the kind of season that Justin Sesdewicki had, along with his brother. I mean, you've got a 2-headed monster right here, but it's very quickly 0-2. As we said, the last DWB broadcast to not be a 9-inning college baseball game and instead be a regular 7-inning game to go to the 10th or longer was West Deptford and Audubon back on April 27th, 2022. That's upstairs. And by the way, that was 824 days ago. Nearly 2.5 years. So we are going to be in for a treat tonight if Sean Sesdewicki gets out here. And that strike three called. Brown gets out of it. And that 824-day streak we just mentioned has been reset to 0. And after 9, we still do not have a victor tonight. Remember when the first 3 innings were done in 38 minutes? That feels like eons ago. But we don't care. It's 5-5. It will just never end here at Alcyon Park. Instant classics every time these teams step on the field. As we are deep into the night here, 9:40 at night. We started before the Phillies and are still going on. The entire Phillies game went on during the duration of tonight's game. But as we said, we were flying by. First 3 innings were done in 38 minutes. It looked like we were going to have a breezy night, maybe an hour, hour and a half. But then extra innings happened, and this game has come to a screeching halt. Jack Norton, who, as we said, on Thursday pitched 5 innings, comes back on Monday and is in his 3rd inning of work. Time called at the dish. The only problem is I've run out of room in my scorecard. My scorecard only has room for 9 innings, and that pitch only had room for the strike zone as there's one away. So I kind of have to manually fill in the space next to my scorecard that doesn't really have baselines or anything. I kind of have to write it out manually. But McKenna, Shea McKenna specifically, is struck out for the 3rd time tonight. Fans are calling for Jack to throw the knuckleball. Does not deliver to the fans' request, and it's foul. I didn't even know he had a knuckleball. There was a fan, maybe family or friend of Jack, who said, do it like your brother, or throw it like your brother. But yeah, I mean, tapper foul by Ian Murphy, who made that nice play at first, which, look, it only goes into the scorecard as a 3 unassisted, but the fact that he was able to hold off Rorik, and he has that poise and composure to hold off that runner at 3rd, it's textbook. You don't see a lot of first basemen in today's era that are capable of doing that. That's a ball. Wow. 2-2. CHBR, not a fan To be fair, there haven't been a lot of fans and a lot of praisers of home plate umpire's job tonight, which, I mean, I can't judge too much being out here in right field. Our view of the strike zone is a little off, and that's a ball, 3-2. So he'll get another shot here. But yeah, like we said, game started at 6:55 tonight, and we have been rolling steady ever since. Last run was scored in the top of the 5th inning. That one is fouled. Murphy might have gotten a piece of that one off of his foot. Fouled again, and Murphy stays alive, much to the applause of the Roughriders dugout. These guys are going to do what they can to get this thing going. And he fouls another one. So we are at 2 hours and 50 minutes is the runtime for tonight's game. Three-two again. Fouled off again. Somebody in some dugout just said rock, paper, scissors for the at-bat so we don't lose any other baseballs. Well, I'll tell you right now, for those counting at home, this is pitch number 10 of the at-bat. Nobody on, 1 out, and nowhere to hide. 3-2 count here in the dead of night from Pittman. Norton and Murphy neither giving an inch. Here is pitch number 10. Ball 4, and much to the applause of the visiting dugout and the visiting grandstands, we have a 10-pitch walk. And look, that just goes down as a walk in the scorecard, but at the end of the day, 10 pitches wears somebody down to the bone. The fact that somebody has to go out and retrieve all those baseballs, bring them back to the umpire, it slows the game down. And when a pitcher is in a tie game situation and trying to get, oh, hold on here. There's a fly ball in the deep left field, holding towards the corner. It is caught in the corner. Julian Costa makes the play and prevents extra bases. 2 outs as Swerdlaw flies out to the corner. But yeah, I mean, look, Norton is a fast pitcher. He's a fast working pitcher, and he doesn't waste a lot of time. But when you slow down the game like that in a lengthy at-bat, it grinds to a halt, and it makes the pitcher weary and nervous, and it, you know, brings down their stamina. And just the fact alone that 10 pitches for a relief pitcher is almost a third, if not more, of their workload. I mean, Norton is already working overtime. He threw 5 innings on Thursday. Now he's back in it again in one of the most grueling matches we've seen in all of Tri-County for the past couple of years. I mean, this is one of the most, you know, just I don't know, gritty, you know, no-nonsense games that we've seen in our 1 year and 1 month tenure with Tri-County. And we've seen plenty of games with these guys. Pretty much almost every team except for 2. We've seen pretty much all you can see in this short time frame. But yet, That's the love of baseball, and that's what makes us love baseball. You see something new every single night. Just like we said with West Deptford and Audubon, this is the first game to go into the 10th inning for a 7-inning scheduled ball game since April 27th, 2022. That one's fouled back. At least he kept this one. At least Grice kept this one in the park. Nobody has to go chasing for it. Maybe they need to bring that dog out that had the ball in his mouth earlier. Be a retriever. Yeah, I think that dog went to bed for the night. And we'll be going to bed after this game is over, as we are about 5 minutes from hitting the 3-hour mark. And the last 3-hour game we had was also at Alcyon Park, which was that American Legion game between Mullica Hill and Washington Township. Went 3 hours and 4 minutes. Also went into extra innings.
And then this one.
And it's 2-2, yeah. Whew. Another know the rules coming out of somebody's mouth. Not sure who it was, but I could hear it clear as day out here in right field. Foul back again. Oh my goodness. Norton getting near 20 already over 20 pitches in this inning. But here comes the chirping again. I mean, these guys are remembering what happened. They're not just letting this one go. You know, you've got to stay here as long as I've got to stay here. And until somebody's made a winner and given a crown on their head, we're going to still say what we're going to say. Here is the 2-2 from Norton. Kicks and deals. Up at the letters, 3-2. And the second at bat in a row to work it down to the bone with multiple foul balls included. Throw over to first is spiked, but he holds on to it. Runner was off, and that's ball 4. Yeah. So somebody in the Roughriders dugout just said they can yell at our dugout, and that's fine. Umpires gave some sort of unofficial warning, because you could hear the base umpire said, "Hey guys, knock it off." I mean, hey, these guys aren't high school kids, you know, and the umpires know that. They're going to give it to them straight. When they're out of line, they're going to say it, and they are going to make sure that it's known. These guys don't beat around the bush, and I really respect these umpires for it. The home plate umpire, we've seen him at least 2 or 3 times this season, including in the quarterfinal game versus Cinnaminson. So the Roughriders themselves have a lot of experience with this umpire, so they know where he stands. Close play, but Rorick couldn't get the tag down. That was almost a flailing, frantic conundrum there, because that throw was a little high for Rorick, who is a little bit shorter than Ian Murphy. But Grice, a product of the second walk issued by Norton this inning. But I mean, there have been grievances on both sides. Roughriders are not happy with apparently something that CHBR has said. I mean, they haven't been too outwardly provocative, but there's definitely been some pleasantries exchanged that we can't hear out here in the outfield, and some that we can hear. Another throw down. It hits off of Rorick's glove. Grice started going, but Murphy couldn't get up in time, and now he's got to go back. If Murphy had just sprung to his feet a little quicker, you have an entirely different situation for Jack Norton, and John Rorick is very lucky that Ian Murphy didn't rise right away and start breaking for third. But it's also smart for Murphy to be conservative. It's also smart in that situation for him to not immediately want to spring up and go to third. We've seen the restraint that Murphy has. He's a very poised player. That's what happened in the top half of the inning, or in the bottom half of the 8th, excuse me, with that bases loaded play. So, look, he knows when to break for it. He knows when to run. He's not exactly going to just break off and take care of it right away, because if he gets thrown out, that's going to be his fault. So it's the old case of being safe, rather be safe than sorry. And you'd rather be safe than out, but that's a different story. 2 outs, 2 on. Grice on first, Murphy on second. This one popped way up in the air and out of play. And we are officially at the 3-hour mark tonight. Right now, 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Got about 30 more of those seconds ticking to get to the 3-hour mark of the evening. And, I mean, hey, the pace of play has been good. The only problem is that it's a 10-inning game. We would have been out of here an hour ago if somebody scored. But I am ready to pack up a 10 or something. That's a swing and a miss. He's got to find the ball in the dirt. He pump fakes. Throw is not in time. And he got in there. Woodward, in a cloud of dust at home plate after the drop third strike, scrambled to find the ball. You could see he turned around a couple of times, not knowing where the ball was. And you could see there still that cloud of dust. I mean, that makes it hard to see. You've got to throw off your mask. And guess what? He's also fast down at first base. He's breaking for it out of the box, running 110%. That is not easy to make that play accurately. The throw was accurate, but the timing was not.
Here we go.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for the Rutgers Camden product and former Highland Tartan, Evan Carbone. There's a strike. Carbone with 2 walks, a strikeout, and also grounded into a controversial double play due to an interference call on Jake Grice. And that feels like eons ago. That's a ball, 1-1. But you got to remember, we're still in the top of the 10th. So, Lord knows what's going to happen here in the bottom half. I mean, there could be... That's the great thing about this kind of baseball, that there is... I guess the best thing you could say is that there is no clock in this game. There is in the professional levels, and there is the collegiate levels, but in summer leagues, in high school, in Pee Wee baseball, the game plays out naturally still. And these guys are just playing it for what it's worth. Carbone still with the bases loaded, ahead in the count 2-1. Norton still dealing, swing and a miss, 2-2. Fastball at the letters, and he misses on it. This one is poked out towards second base. Rorick has trouble with it, has to throw from the seat of his pants. He got him!
Yeah, he got him.
Roughriders first base coach, I think, wasn't happy about the call, maybe thought he got pulled off the bag, but what a play, John Rorick, making up for what was an extremely unlucky circumstance, and the Roughriders are still denied. Nobody is giving an inch. Nobody is going home, and neither are we. We go to the bottom of the 10th, 5-5. The press box still holding strong here on this beautiful Monday evening. And if the Alcyon gods wanted to pick a perfect night for us to spend 3.5 hours in the neck of the woods, well, they picked a darn perfect night. Chris Brown still in for his 3rd inning of extra inning relief, as we are still tied 5-5. No scores since the top of the 5th. We have gone nearly 5 full innings without anyone touching home plate for a score. Here's the first pitch from Brown. I mean, you can just feel the teeter-totter of this game hanging in the balance with every pitch. You know, all of these guys, I mean, some are sitting now, but there are some that have been standing for hours waiting to see what the result of tonight would be. I mean, this has been a very tumultuous game and a very gritty game. As a line drive, oh, that one goes into the right center field gap. It drops. Now he's got to play it second. Throw is wide. Grice couldn't get there, and that's a leadoff double for Sirianni. Well, way to rip the Band-Aid off for CHBR. You know, they had had some soft beginnings to those extra innings. A walk here, a bloop single there. They just ripped the cover off the ball for a leadoff double and putting that winning run 180 feet away. Sirianni with his 2nd hit of the night. He singled in the 8th, which feels like years ago, but Julian Costa looks to play hero again. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Costa doubled in the 8th in a line drive to left field, but did not score in that 8th inning where CHBR had the bases loaded with 1 out, but did not come through. The pitch from Brown is chopped foul, and it is 0-2. So Costa, the Westchester product, who has already driven in 2 runs of his own, big part of kickstarting that 5-run frame for CHBR in the 4th with a 2-run single, is 2 for 4 on the campaign, looking for his 3rd hit of the late evening. Here is the 0-2. Brown looks back at second a couple times. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball. That is going to be stopped at second. Throw from the cross of the body. And Costa is retired for out number 1. And however, despite how flashy and impressive of a play that is, that moves the destiny of CHBR 90 feet closer with Angelo Bones Marciano, the head coach and third base coach, assisting there, his runner Sirianni. I mean, the Roughriders are, you know the phrase, they're not going down without a fight. These guys are not going down without a war. And here we go. Ball 1. To Nick Turnage, formerly of Haddonfield, now of Immaculata, one of 7 third base club players, representing a third of the team that is an Immaculata Mighty Mac. Here's the 1-0. Line drive, base hit, ball game! 3 hours and 32 minutes later, Nick Turnage plays hero, and this game is finally brought to a close. A 6-5 final, nearly 3.5 hours later. Oh my goodness, the first game in 2.5 years to go to 10 innings. He got himself the hero pledge and the hero badge tonight as Nick Turnage wins it in the bottom of the 10th. A feisty game nonetheless. And just a quick discussion going on there as the Roughriders trail 1-0 in the series. I really thought they had the momentum tonight. You know, they started off hot with a 3-run second, and then CHBR came back and took the lead. They never gave up the lead. They tied the game, but they never were losing. They were just tied. And CHBR was always knocking at the door, and it took a couple tries, but they got there. Stay tuned for the DWB postgame show, brought to you by Harper Driving School, as we'll be right back with our player of the game and postgame ceremonies and more right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our Harper Driving School player of the game is Nick Turnage of Haddonfield Memorial, now of Immaculata, walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th inning. Our first 10-inning, 7-inning scheduled game in almost 2.5 years. Man, that was fun to watch, and you guys seem to have a lot of fun out there tonight. How'd you feel out there?
I felt great, just hanging out with the guys, playing ball. It doesn't get much better than that, and this was our toughest game, so to come out on top was a lot of fun.
Especially being the regular season champion, you guys didn't exactly come out of the gate swinging with the first round playoffs. Went to game 3 with Sewell. Now you're going back into a tough series with the Roughriders. So now that this is your second playoff series, this is your 4th playoff game, doesn't get any easier from here. So you guys seemed to have a lot of it together. Ebling got a second chance after your 5-run 4th inning. You guys really seemed to be clicking, but when you guys were down 3-0, it was still early, but what was that mindset in the dugout of, trying to get something going? What was that feel like, just trying to get something going with the bats?
So we, first and second innings for the back half of the season, we've had a lot of trouble getting out of. So we're used to it, but we don't like being in that situation. So we just persevere and we just get the bats going. Unfortunately, the series against Sewell and tonight we got the bats going a little slow, but as you see, we picked it up. So just pick it up a little bit better. We're running the series.
It came in bunches, just like game 3 that we covered versus Sewell. You guys had a big inning versus them. You guys had a 5-run inning tonight, and that was all of your offensive production bunched into one, except for that walk-off single in the 10th. So, you guys really showed perseverance throughout the entirety of this game. 3 hours, 29 minutes. Not an easy feat for anyone, considering that this is game 1 of a 3-game series. You guys are off tomorrow, back at it here on Wednesday. So you guys are going to have a little bit of rest, but not a lot. So with the 21-man roster that you have, you've got you and Bones and everybody else on the team, they've got to work together to make sure that everybody's on the same page and that you guys are ready to fight for game 2. But, for you tonight, just in general, had that RBI double in the 4th, had an intentional walk in the 8th, and then had that walk-off single in the 10th. But you guys ran into so many situations in extra innings that just couldn't seem to get something going. Bases loaded, had a play at the plate, didn't get something going. Everybody just seemed they were on the edge of scoring, and then it didn't happen. How frustrating is that or how rewarding is it to have all of those moments not go your way and then finally be the one to break through in the 10th?
Well, it's definitely frustrating, but, I know my teammates are out there giving it their all. And I think it's just really just bearing down and not trying to do too much in those situations, and we'll be okay.
And especially for a guy like Jack Norton, who threw 75 pitches on Thursday in Game 3, 75 tonight in Game 1 as a reliever. I mean, you guys have a really deep pitching core and good defense as well, and there's no doubt why you guys went 18-4 in the regular season. So for you guys, having a rest day tomorrow and then getting back at it on Wednesday, how do you and your teammates feel going into Game 2?
We feel pretty confident, especially just coming out on top of this game. We should have no doubts or fears or anything like that. We should just go in confident, ready to win Game 2.
Well, that's the mindset we like to hear. Thank you very much, Nick. We're going to close with our usual tradition. You're just going to sign anywhere on the bottom of the scorecard. Make it nice and big so the viewers at home can see that nice signature.
Yep.
All right, perfect. There you go. Nick Turnage, your player of the game. You'll be seeing many of those over at Immaculata. Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. The final in 10 innings, our first 10-inning broadcast since April 27th, 2022, not including 9-inning college games. I mean, this was a grinding game and felt like it was never going to end. Bases loaded here, bases loaded there, and it just never stopped. But these guys finally came through in the end, and CHBR looking for another finals appearance and looking to deny the Roughriders a second consecutive title. They're off to a hot start. They're up 1-0 in a 6-5 final. Our next broadcast will be from the Camden Athletic Complex at 7 p.m. on Wednesday between the South Jersey Grizzlies and the Cherry Hill Pittman Baseball Club at 7 p.m. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinators Brandon DeKegerland and Keely Curran, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my producer Vincent Vogt, I'm Dan Wilkins. Like I said, day trip tomorrow down to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, but back at it again from Camden on Wednesday. Have a good one, folks. CHBR wins 6-5 in 10.